Welcome to Leadcast.
Blinded by the shadow your light casts. Headshot.
Let's go. For the welcome to the League of Trade. Hello and welcome to episode 399 of the Leadcast podcast. I'm your host, Nick King Cooper. Joining me, Aiden Frost Rockards.
That's almost 400 episodes.
Almost 400, not quite. And Colton Blue Basket Sweat.
You're right. That's one less than 400. I have a math degree.
Very smart.
I actually don't.
Not yet. What are you in school for?
I'm going to be doing school for computer science, which is basically a math degree.
Basically math. Hey, this week we're going to talk about some news stuff. We got a new world song that came out yesterday. Yesterday, right?
Or, yes,
new
yesterday.
patch review. We got a discussion about a hot topic. A short little Metakizer roundtable from last week and this week. Cheese pick. Pretty spicy. I'm excited to play it. LCS news, including the finalized group announcement and a very special something we're doing a little bit live. We're going to round it out with a couple of emails, and that'll be it on this week. Aiden, how was your week?
My week was good. I didn't play too much League. I've mainly played Smurf games. I've been playing on like a silver account. I've just been trying out like mid-Pyke a lot. I think mid-Pyke's actually insane. Spoiler, that's what we're doing for Metakizer. But I think it's really, really good. I've been playing it on like an account that has gold, mid-gold MMR sort of thing. I've been getting 20 plus kills a game on it. Not to say that like that's the best metric of how good something is, but I played a normal on it like just to try it out the first time on like my main account, and I got 30 kills on it. I went 30-3.
Oh my
and
God.
I got
yeah.
I posted a
That was
screenshot on our
wild.
Discord where I got 10k extra gold for like the team that game, which was kind of gross. That shouldn't ever be a mechanic. Obviously that's the grossest it's ever
You have to
been.
do it for the squad, man.
Yeah, but 10k is like so gross. Usually I'm averaging like 4 or 5k extra a game sort of thing. So I'm not sure if that's balanced or not.
I think in your 30 kill game, you gave the team more gold than I had total.
Yeah, like that's insane. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Other than that, kind of just like work and school stuff. Like just school's been fucking crazy this week. I have like the same amount of projects as usual like this week, but I didn't realize how big they were. So I'm a little bit swamped, but I'm excited because I have reading week next week. So we're all good.
Nice. You gonna play a lot of League next week?
I think so. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. That's
What
the
about you,
annual
Colton?
Trevor and Aiden stay up till 4 a.m. solo queue party.
He's the only reason my sleep schedule's ever bad. Like that's actually insane.
He's a
Yeah.
bad influence on you.
Yeah.
Only
What about you,
during
Colton?
2 weeks a year, though.
Yeah, otherwise he's a very nice young boy.
Nice.
What about you, Colton?
Yeah, my week has been pretty tame. I've been watching some more Naruto, playing a little bit of solo queue. No real movement there. I've been playing a couple games to support. Just feeling out, kind of practicing back up with that because I've not been playing a lot of support recently. So just getting back into that a little bit. I had another interview for a job, so hopefully that I will hear back from that soon. I was expecting to hear early this week, but haven't heard anything yet, so fingers crossed because I need a real job pretty soon. Bills
Yeah.
are coming due. Other than that, though, I mean, not too much going on in my life at this time, so I guess I'll hand it over to the Coopster.
Yo, same. Work
Yeah, it
was
was
cool.
boring as fuck. Oh wait, I went to Six Flags. I didn't mention that.
Well, that's
Poggers.
exciting.
Yeah, so I went to this one. I've never been to, obviously, the Six Flags here near me in Dallas. So different than the one by me in Chicago. Still very fun. Had a good time. Hot as fuck. So after like 3 hours out in that sun, I was like, let's go home.
Yeah.
But really good time. Excited to go back for Fright Fest in the evening when it's a little bit cooler.
Nice. When is Fright Fest?
It's already started. It's like all of October. It's just like after 6 p.m. So,
Gotcha.
and I think it's just weekends up until like the week of Halloween.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, same here. Work at school. Pretty standard. Played a little bit of League. Fed my dick off on Echo Jungle. So I guess I'm on Worlds level.
True.
And we lost that game. So I'm basically a Worlds player. You can hire me real quick. Other than that, I don't think there was like much of anything. So yeah, let's get into the news.
Hell yeah.
Or first, sorry. We're gonna shout out our patrons. So thank you to Grundlebutter, Isaac, John, Joshua, Tanner Time, Burning Fear, Joshua, Lucas, Michael, Mr. Turch, Aaron, or Aaron. There's 2 R's instead of 2 A's. Blooper, Bogenblade, Brother Dust, Caleb, Chris, I'm into bushes, Jig He, sorry for messing up your name, Josh Kennedy, Kirk, Lil Barnabas, Drew, Pards, Ryan, Samuel, Speedy Spikes, and Zod, aka Paul. We haven't heard from Paul in a while.
Paul's a good guy.
Paul is a good guy. Yeah, let's jump into the news. You want to talk about what's upcoming for next week, Aiden?
Ooh, so next week we have episode 400. That's 400 episodes of the LeagueCast podcast, of which you can listen to 370 of them, I believe.
I think so too.
So we're doing
Not every episode.
We're doing pretty well. So maybe we'll have a celebration at 4:30 for 400 listenable episodes. No, we won't. But so next week we're having a little bit of a celebration. We're gonna do a shorter show. It's probably gonna run like an hour and a half. We're probably just going to do news, world stuff, and then we're hoping for our email section to just do like fun emails, so like less League, how do I get out of whatever ELO question. You guys can send us just questions, like fun questions that we'll talk about, just shoot the shit sort of thing. Big celebration episode.
Any kind of question. If you want to ask Nick like what his favorite type of sneakers are, like ask Aiden what his favorite sport growing up was, like any kind of question, doesn't have to
That'd
be
be fun.
related.
Yeah.
I think that's like, I think that puts into perspective of just like, literally this is an ask the host, interact with us, kind of like at the beginning of the show where we're talking about our personal lives, like ask us literally anything.
Yeah, it's more just like a celebration, have fun episode. And then if you do send us like a League question or whatever, we'll push it off to episode 401. We'll do them there, because after our short little like hour and a half celebration episode, where I'm putting on a game of LeagueCast, League of Legends Jeopardy feud, where I have 3 teams: Team LeagueCast, Team Oldcast, and Team CommunityCast, competing for no prize. But I did set up like 2 rounds of Jeopardy, then a round of Family Feud, like Fast Money, and I think it's actually going to be pretty fun. I'm currently.
Oh, you did set up Fast Money.
Oh yeah, it's a
That's
disaster.
exciting. Hell yeah.
I don't understand how they set up those questions to like have answers be good. You know what I mean? Like, do you think it must be a questionnaire? I swear to God, it must be a questionnaire with like limited number of choices. I think.
Like it's a multiple choice.
Because in theory, in Fast Money, you need the question to be, you need your answer to be worth more than 20 points, because you need 200 over 10 answers, right?
Yeah, on average.
So
yeah.
if there's like 7 good answers, the question is bad. It's a bad question to ask. So I think
like I have a couple of options, I think, of how they do that, but go on.
I was just gonna say, like, so I asked our community 23 questions, I think, or something like that, and I got 3.5 viable ones. So I made it into 5 viable ones, because it's really hard to balance like questions that are either too easy, meaning one of the answers is worth 55, you know what I mean, and the rest of them are kind of just garbage, or questions that are all like just barely hitting the 20-point mark. So I played around with it a little bit scuffed, but I feel like the more fun part is Jeopardy, but whatever, it's still fun.
Yeah, I think like there's no way to do it like completely unadjusted, so I would imagine it's either for like actual Family Feud, they probably have like a list of like, 100 questions that they give out to these people, and then that they might pull the ones that actually have the right distribution, or they'll just take like any question and be like, okay, we're just going to take the top 4 answer, do the percentages, like top 4 answers, take the percentages, and then scale that as if there were 100 that way, to like artificially inflate those points. Because if you're asking an open-ended question wanting to get like actually viable results, that's going to be pretty tough.
Yeah, and I was like working to scale them too, but then the problem you have running with scaling is if you scale the like top whatever number of answers, then if they're all like kind of decent answers, then when people answer ones that in theory should get them a certain amount of points, they don't get points because that's not in a top whatever, and you've scaled the other ones. It's so like hard to do. So I honest to God think they like give a like a checklist, like a multiple choice type thing. Either way, scuffed, but it's going to be fun, I think. Jeopardy is so much fucking fun to put together. Currently, all I have left to do is I want to make like a little thumbnail like thing, intro image, and I also want to do like intros for everyone. I have like half the intros written. I'm not very funny, I found out, so I'm working on that.
I think like writing jokes and being able to come up with stuff on the fly, those are like entirely different skill sets.
Oh, for sure.
Like comedy writing and just being funny are not the same thing. But either way, you're not funny, Aiden.
Exactly. So come check that out next week. I think the way we're going to do it is I'm going to stream it in, I'm going to get all you guys into a call, and then I'm going to screen share my screen on Discord, and then Nick can stream it on Twitch, and then people can watch it on Twitch, I think is the best way to do it. And then we'll have like a live chat on our Discord, because Discord streaming only allows 10 people to watch this stream, which kind of sucks because 6 of them will be people participating. So I think that's the best way to do it. Then we'll have like a live chat in our Discord sort of thing. It'll be fun.
Hell yeah.
That's
We'll
at
figure that out.
9 EST on the 16th. Cool.
All right. Cool. So there
World
was
Song.
a patch 920, which we'll run down real quick. So first up, we're only been talking about some of the bigger changes. Blitzcrank base armor and armor growth has been decreased. So they like that he's got the extra range from the last patch, but he's a little too strong. So nerfing his base stats a little bit, making him a little bit easier to get out of lane, which I think is pretty good.
Yeah. Let me catch up here. So we're on to Garen now.
Yes.
They did some base stat adjustments for him, making his regen a little bit more reliable. And now instead of instead of just flat percentage damage reduction, his W gives a shield.
Yes.
So that's new, and I think that's a lot better than 30% flat damage reduction.
Yeah, I think so too. Although it was like 65% when you pressed it initially.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Looks like they did
Ivern.
some other small tweaks to E and R, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they removed the villain passive, which is pretty exciting.
Ooh.
I think that's a really good change.
No more will I take 18,000 true damage from a 1 in 7 tank Garen.
Nice. Also, stacks of Conqueror from his E. That's pretty fun. That's why I've seen so much Conqueror Garen. His spin procs it now. Anyway, we'll move on to Ivern.
Ivern, now a ranged champion, his W no
Ivern.
longer increases attack range. Pog, dude.
Why do you think it just like wasn't good enough to like make it? I don't even know like what. It seems so weird to remove that.
Yeah, it does. I don't know.
Whatever. Character, I guess, is slightly better. I don't think it makes him that much better, but
Yeah, right. Because like you're not ever. I think there's no reason that he ever should have been like melee becomes ranged when in a bush. Like I don't think that ever made sense.
Mhm.
That's weird. Anyway, Lysandra.
You know what does make him better? Real quick.
Hmm.
Is that Dunkmaster is currently on sale.
but no
Way
one buys
better.
that. No one plays that skin because it's bad.
I just purchased it. Because just to spite everyone.
Reddit thread's gonna be so mad. He's not a dunk man. Anyway, Lysandra, passive and W damage ratios are increased. So they added a 0.2 onto her passive and 0.2 onto her W. So that's a 40% additional ratios added to her kit. Maybe the days of Aftershock Lysandra are behind us.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Those are good ratios, though. Like, I feel like W is always an ability that just didn't do any damage, but 0.7 is, like, good damage.
It's not bad, for sure. And her passive already felt like it did a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Cool.
Shaco. Ooh, big Shaco changes. W boxes are now AoE. He does more early game damage, less late game damage. There's a lot of changes here. I would recommend reading them all. But essentially, don't turn around. And he has AoE clear now, which is terrifying.
Do you see how fast his clear is? If you do, you set up 2 traps at Raptors, get your team to leash you at red, and you put a trap over on Krugs as soon as you finish red.
No.
He can gank bottom
Nutty fast.
at 220.
Holy shit.
Which
With
is
level 3 and red buff.
yeah, and bottom laners are level 1.
Yeah, bottom laners are 1 wave in.
Which it kind of upsets me because I hope that this rework would make him less of a cheese fucking jungler.
Uh-huh.
But now it's making him a more cheese jungler because he's the only jungler in the game that can gank at level 3 when everyone else is level 1.
The ultra cheese.
It's
Yeah,
so
right.
dumb.
And this has been like possible, or things like it have been possible for Shaco before. If you like set up a bunch of boxes on like one buff, have a top laner sit there and hit it with them, and then like you're taking a camp with your bot lane, and you have like other boxes at a third camp. Like there were times where you could have done this where like you hit level 3 at like 2 minutes 45 seconds, and then get to gank. This is a whole new level.
Yeah.
And I think a lot more reliable to actually make happen.
My favorite start in the entire game, like in the history of Shaco, was when I would put boxes at my red buff and I get my bottom lane to leash it, and I would go steal either their red or their blue, just like jump over the wall, jump over the wall with the blasting plant and then steal it, or just like smite it over the wall with like a ward. And then if my bottom lane fucked it up, I would just let them have red, and if they didn't fuck it up, I'd get double buffs.
Mm-hmm.
It's so
Or
good.
when you used to like have one lane leash one buff and then get the other one.
Yeah, it just feels good when you steal it though, because like you get your own buff, steal theirs, and then you get to run immediately to another buff.
For sure.
It's so good.
Nice. Yeah, should be pretty exciting. We're gonna see a lot of him, and I'm sure Colton is gonna play a ton of him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely gonna give him a shot. I don't know how much I'm actually gonna enjoy it, but it's gonna be better than what he was. That's
I bet
for sure.
you wind up loving this. That's my
think-
hot take.
Probably gonna love it. Probably.
Can we do a quick mention of the Sona change?
My baby girl.
Baby girl in the patch notes.
Quality of life change for the baby girl.
So weird. That's
Yikes.
fucking weird champs.
So one other thing I wanted to mention about the Shaco change.
Oh, sure.
They changed the E from physical to magic, which I think is a huge boon to AP Shaco players everywhere, as well as like a kind of subtle nerf to AD Shaco and like lethality particularly. So I wouldn't be surprised if like the new default build, especially since his W is now AoE, is more of an AP build with
I think so too. Absolutely.
echoes into, probably a proto belt. But yeah, that's I think a really big change. That's always been a kind of confusing thing, is like, why is that E doing physical damage?
It used to do magic like primarily first, right? And then they swapped it to
I think at some point, yeah, it did do
Physical.
magic, and then they switched it. Now they switched it back. I'm not
Yeah.
really sure. Anyway, moving on to Victor. Q no longer scales with mana. W now grants a slow to W augment now grants a slow to other spells, and R now ticks more quickly and moves faster. So all pretty much quality of life buffs, except for that W is just a straight up like. It has a strong buff. Direct hits on abilities slow enemies for 20%. Damn.
So it's essentially
You know-
a free Rylai's, right?
Yeah, you get a free Rylai's when you upgrade your W, basically.
But that's at like probably level like 11 to 13 or whatever. I guess it's normally
Yeah.
when you get Rylai's and you can skip it.
You just get to skip that and have a more efficient build now, which I think is actually going to be huge for Victor.
Interesting.
Like, I think we're going to see the full AP Victors come out.
True. And then the last things we wanted to mention are Locket of the Iron Solari changes. They increase the the base shield strength, decrease the amount it increases when you level up, essentially. So it's better early, probably a little bit worse late.
The exact same late game when you hit level 18.
Oh, okay. So it's just better early.
Yeah, so I feel like this is mainly a change that, like, when they, a couple months ago, when they made it so that it scales off like bonus health so much, or just base health, I can't remember which one it is, it kind of turned it into like a top laner item in a way. Where it kind of like took some of the power away from supports. I feel like this puts a little bit more power back in supports who don't like hit those like higher levels, so they get some power back, which is kind of cool.
Nice. That's good. A number of bug fixes, including Winter Wonder Nika will no longer lose a significant amount of base stats in the ability to basic attack when Lulu uses W on her when she's using her ultimate when disguised.
That's my favorite bug fix. It's so good.
It's so good.
So meaning when you're ulting as Nico, while Lulu uses Whimsy, while you're disguised, while you're using Winter Wonder Nico, you will no longer lose your base stats. So that's good. Good change.
We'll no longer lose the
Okay,
ability to
hang
basic
on.
attack.
My fucking headset is like losing its goddamn mind.
Wah.
That's fine. We'll go on without you.
There was another really good one though. Fuck, where was it?
Just use these really, really specific shit.
Yeah, there was one more though.
When casting Wukong's ult as Vi's Q hits and it kills Wukong, his
Okay.
ultimate no longer loses its functionality.
Yeah, like
So I imagine that means if a Vi Q kills you while you're casting ult on Wukong, you just can't cast ult anymore?
the one I was thinking
Like
of is
stuff like that?
the very first one. Fixed a bug where the ally after the ally Yumi is attached. Wait, fixed a bug where after the ally Yumi is attached to dies while she's in stasis via Zonius or stopwatch, she will lose the ability to gain turret aggro for the remainder of the game. That's cool.
I just imagine that happening like the first time and the person not understanding it. Like, how many times do you think that bug happened before someone realized that they couldn't get turret aggro? And then they tried to start like abusing it.
I'm sure there's enough games where they didn't realize it for the entire game.
Yeah, right? Like, that's what I'm saying, is I think the first, like, 5-10 times that happened, or at least, like, I'd say, like, probably 90% of the time that that bug happened, they didn't realize that they were untargetable by the tower. That being said, the time that somebody realizes they aren't, like, I guess Yumi's one of those characters who wouldn't even really matter if she could, like, walk around in her tower without being hit by it, because, like, she's not going to really be able to solo dive anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But what a fucking weird bug.
It does mean that she could hop on another ally, right? And like she could just spam Q on her turret with no penalty.
I guess, yeah.
But
I don't think it was that big of a deal, though. It's just funny
I don't
that
think
shit
so
like that
either.
exists. Yeah.
yeah.
What about the skins?
High Noon Ash, High Noon Darius, and High Noon Hecarim, I think they all look super good, especially the Darius cosplaying as Graves.
A lot of their
Including the
skins look
shotgun
like other
shells on his
skins.
shoulder. They look good.
They look so good.
Yeah.
It's a good skin.
You
line.
guys
Can't
getting
wait
any?
to buy another Hecarim skin.
Yeah, the Hecarim skin I think looks the best.
Dude, I'm gonna buy that, and then I've got 5 gemstones now because I just finished the world's mission that gives you 2, and I'm just like, can't wait to spend those on like whatever the Hecarim gemstone skin is called.
The Lancer Zero.
Yeah,
It looks
Lancer
so
Paragon,
sick.
whatever. It is, but it's just like all of the Hecarim skins look so cool. He's such a badass character design.
Yeah,
like
true.
this big fucking like shadow centaur. You should make him. He's like one of the edgiest characters in the game, I think.
Why don't
I
they just
will
give
ag-
him like a horse skin, though?
Fuck, I was just about to say it. I will agree with Reddit. High Noon Hecarim should have just been a horse.
Yeah, just
Just a regular horse.
Normal horse. Or that should have been one of the chromas, right?
yeah,
That would have been sweet. But yeah,
cool.
that's it. Nice. TFT patch.
And then TFT.
Yeah. So just quickly, so there was buffs to Guardians, Aatrox, Fiora, Gangplank, Kai'Sa, Leona, Lucian, Volibear, Deathblade, and the item Quicksilver. There was nerfs to Assassins, Gunslingers, Knights, Wild, Akali, Poppy, Frozen Heart, IE. And then there's changes to make it faster level to level 9, and then it's easier to get tier 4 and 5 units when you're a higher rank now. I haven't played too much, so I'm not sure about the meta, but from what I understand, Knights are still pretty strong. Like going Knights Knights and Imperial, like 4 is really strong. And then getting like late game carry units is kind of it's weird. It's currently like a really weird meta because it's too easy to level to 9. You like everyone like hyper econs right now, so no matter what, you can just get like a full game build. So like your carry units are always going to be tier 4 and 5 units. So I'm not sure. It sounds like fun, but like maybe a little bit too stagnant, I guess.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely something to be said. Like, you should be... I think you should be able to be eliminated by, like, level 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
And, right, even... Like, if you're hard econing, you don't have anything on the board, you're saving all your items, you have shit synergies, like, you should be eliminated at that point. You shouldn't only have to put units in the field to be able to last to, like, 6 and 7, and then start getting those, like, full comps with, you know, your max level synergies and your nice items. Like, everyone waiting on a Kale or a Yasuo shouldn't be the thing that's happening. Right? There should be people that have a gold level 2 or level 3 unit that's going to carry them, and then maybe if you luck out in the end game, you know, come back at 10 HP and start beating them later on, instead of just like everyone being like, oh, okay, it's fine, like whatever, they have their gold Lucian, and we'll just start clapping him easily when I get my shit later.
Yeah, exactly. The game should be about choice. Like, you shouldn't be able to get the same build every game just by like having enough gold.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh well.
And you should definitely, like, there should be some kind of actual rotation between your early game and late game build, instead of everyone just getting like 4 knights and being like, well, I can make it to late game now.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I think that's our week. That's the Rising News, right? I think, maybe?
Yeah, that's everything I think we had. Oh, World Song. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
Did we?
I think we covered all that stuff. Wait, what did you say we didn't cover? Sorry.
The World's Song?
Yeah, we just like mentioned it. What do you think of it, I guess? Like, we didn't talk about it.
I really enjoyed it. I've heard a lot of bad feedback from other people being like, it's lame, it's not hype enough. I really, really liked it.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely top 3 for me. I think like I've always put Worlds Collide as my number 1. I think I'm starting to put Worlds Collide as 2, and then putting what was the other the 2017 one. The one by the same girl.
Warriors?
No, Warriors is 2013.
Dude, I don't fucking know.
Fuck. Worlds.
I'm trying to think of
songs. Legends Never Die.
Legends Never Die. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to put Legends Never Die, then Worlds Collide, then this one. So, I guess the way I'm currently ranking them still. So, I'm happy with it though. It was pretty fun. Also, like, the sound quality is way better on like SoundCloud, and then if you have like Spotify Premium, it's pretty good too. But the YouTube version's like actually kind of shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess I never really care that much or notice audio quality, but I could see that being frustrating to people who have like really nice headphones or pay attention to that kind of stuff.
You should try to give it a
People
listen on
like
SoundCloud.
Nick Cooper.
I think you'll notice a difference.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely give that a shot. So that's it for news. Nick's having some headphone issues, so we're just gonna keep on moving along.
I think I'm good.
Hell yeah!
I don't fucking know how this happens. Like,
just go get like iPod like earbuds.
So I did. I plugged.
Just put in your AirPods.
Plugged them into my computer, and on my headset seems to be fine.
True.
It's like,
that's smart.
I threatened it by like with the threat of using something else, and they're like, "Oh shit, let's work. Let's do it."
Yeah, true.
It's like you went over to the bench and started talking to the second string player, and then your starter's like, "Okay, wait a minute." Gotta get my act together.
Exactly.
You see the other pitcher warming up in the bullpen. Oh, fuck.
Speaking of baseball, go Rays. Woo.
Woo.
Are we on Starries now? Sorry.
Yeah, we're on the Rate Us 5
Augers.
Starries section, where we got one review from SlatBet69 entitled Good Podcast, Annoying Phrases. I like the podcast, but they say true like 20 times per podcast, and it's starting to drive me insane.
Guess what, Slapbet? True.
True.
So true. It's a very very honest, commentary.
Accurate.
No, we were talking about it before, Lo.
Correct.
I definitely go through like phases of saying like sayings, if you will. I used to be the pretty well guy. I'm sure there's like some other ones in there, but now I'm the true guy right now. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
It's just like dumb things. It's like I said like twice. I was trying to set up my sentence so I could say talk about people who say like all the time, and then I said like 2 times in the sentence. But yeah, it's just like
Candid.
vocal things. Same with
I'm just gonna
and
think
stuff.
of as many synonyms true as I can and say them throughout the episode.
Yeah, we'll work on it, but
Yeah.
they're just sayings.
Yeah.
There's a fine line, I think, between like us phrasing those as a meme, where it's like some audience members I think really enjoy that. They're like, oh, they said true again.
I don't think anyone
Also,
does
though,
that.
I can see that being annoying for people. Well, I don't think true is one of the ones. I don't think that that's one of them. But I think the idea of like phrases we say becoming memes and becoming repeat jokes is definitely something that happens.
Yeah, I just don't think anyone's ever gone, man, I love when they say true.
No, I don't think that's one of them. But I do think it's probably a thing where like that's just a thing that like the league cast says, right? And they just kind of accept that.
That's fair.
So don't complain. Give us another 5-star review, and thank you so much for the review. Slapbat69.
True. Hell yeah. Poggers. Hey, y'all want to talk about Hong
Hey.
Kong and China?
Kind of.
Yeah, a little bit. That's how I feel too.
That's probably the best way to feel about it.
Yeah.
So I think before we dive into this section, we got to say, get this out the bat. This is purely opinions. We are not experts on this situation. We're going to just try and do a kind of quick summary of what's going on there and kind of move along. We're not trying to step on any toes, so you can feel free to write us, but we're, at least I'm not trying to take like a strong stance on this issue because I don't know very much about it.
Yeah, for sure. I think we all probably feel pretty similarly, like in response to the situation. But I do think this is a much more delicate issue than a lot of people seem to think. So I mean, we'll stop beating around the bush. So for a couple months, 6 months now, 8 months?
It's been a long time.
It's been a while. How would you describe that? Like, independent city of Hong Kong has been protesting specific demands, 5 demands, against the Chinese government. None of them that I actually think are too crazy, honestly, and not sure why. Like, it's certainly getting a lot more attention than it should be as a result of China's inaction, I think, in my opinion. And essentially that's gotten the attention of a lot of the world. And now there are certain like companies that have to react based on situations that have happened. So they have to take a stance or take no stance. And it's become this like pretty messy area, I'll say, of like morality and politics and ethics. And it's hard to navigate correctly, I think. But a lot of it has to do, that we're going to be talking about at least, is has to do with the NBA and Blizzard Entertainment. So I think personally the NBA one is a bigger issue. So I think we should talk about that after the Blizzard stuff.
I know very little about that compared to like the Blizzard stuff.
Okay. Well, then we could just quickly mention the NBA stuff. One of the executive management of a particular NBA team tweeted like, I support Hong Kong. Yeah, I'm not going to mention the team specifically, Pards, but tweeted like his support for Hong Kong. And then a lot of very negative stuff happened from China. China tried to like retaliate and censor this individual by threatening to cancel like the NBA on Chinese TV. and then the commissioner of the NBA came out and said, like, this may not be, like, it sucks that we have to upset a lot of people, but we support, you know, our employees having the right to free speech, and they can say whatever they want, so long as it's not, you know, damaging to our platform, like as the NBA. And I personally think this is like a much bigger issue, because not only is Twitter, it happened on Twitter. Twitter is banned in China. This is like the Chinese government trying to censor like an American citizen on a banned platform in China, which certainly to me seems like super insecure and I don't know, entirely like crossing the line.
Yeah, they're overreaching by a large factor. Right, because again, you're saying this platform doesn't even really exist in China. It's banned. This is an American citizen voicing his personal opinion. Like, the fact that they're reaching out this far to try and silence that is definitely an attack on free speech. And, like, that... It's tough to not be, like, just clearly in support of free speech. And I definitely am. But it's just, like... Who in their right mind, as like the leader of a political regime, is like, yeah, let's reach out this far and just be like, fuck this one guy in particular.
Yeah, exactly.
For voicing his opinion in a different country. I don't know.
I mean,
it's overreaching.
I think
to me.
the reality is like they have that much power in their own country. Like that's why they're exerting it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Globally, right.
This is definitely like a very telling situation. I mentioned this on the Discord in a conversation with someone, but this is going to be incredibly telling as to how the world, like as a whole, responds to an aggressive, like outspoken China, rather than, like, don't get me wrong, the things that China has been accused of doing within their own country is pretty insane and unacceptable. But as soon as it starts to cross that line into like another country, then it becomes even like worse, which is weird. It's like obviously it's happening to like the same like human beings, like they're people still on both sides of the border, but it's different when it's within a country's borders and when it starts to bleed out of that and getting to like surrounding countries, and they exert their like the trade, you know, power over other countries.
Yeah, like I think if it's happening locally, it's a human rights thing, and then that's like this is humanity's issue to come up with and like deal with. Whereas once it starts like crossing the border and jumping it, now it's become like more of a political, economic issue, which I think a lot more people in the everyday world, like the average person, I think is a lot more concerned with that, because it's going to affect them more directly. Like, someone's rights being stifled in another country does nothing to affect my everyday life. That being said, if we go to like a trade war with China, everything is going to start costing more, and I'm going to see an effect of that in my everyday life. And I think that's why people are now jumping in, and this is becoming more publicized and more of an issue, is right, because like it's going to start affecting Americans directly, and then that's when we start to get involved. Or I guess I should just say people in general. Like, that tends to be the way things go.
Yeah, and this is like a lot more political than we usually get, and we wanted to talk about it because it, like, I personally think that things are going to come out this week regarding Riot and this particular issue. But we want to kind of like get in front of it because it is pretty current and important news.
Yeah, so there's the interaction with Blizzard, as well as the fact that like it would not be surprising if players or staff of Riot or any of the teams at Worlds made comments. That's probably going to happen.
Tencent has 100% ownership of Riot, like of Riot Games, and they are a very pro-China company.
Yeah.
So I would be utterly shocked if like leaks didn't start to spring over the course of this week.
Yeah. And especially like I wouldn't be surprised if any of the players of like Hong Kong Attitude put out any kind of stance on that. Like,
so
I wouldn't be surprised.
I believe Hong Kong Attitude is related to Hong Kong in name alone.
Yes.
They are owned by a very pro-China individual.
Yes.
Never mind.
Yeah.
That being said, I'd like to bring it into like the, I guess, Blizzard discussion and
let's
how
talk
that
about that.
tangentially relates to League of Legends. So the whole Blizzard thing is that there was a Hearthstone tournament this weekend where a player, after winning the tournament, had an interview where he said, where is it?
He was prompted by the casters to say, like, go ahead and say the eight words, right?
Yeah, and I wish I had it. Oh, here it is. It translated to "Liberate Hong Kong, Revolution of Our Time." Then the stream was cut, and then later it came out that Blizzard has decided to ban the player, take all of his ban him for a year, take all of his winnings, and then the 2 casters were fired. So, I guess, like, looking at that, like, first of all, I think there's problems with that. But I also think that there are some overreactions. But then I want to get into how it relates to League of Legends, because I do think there are going to be some crossover, like we just said. There, it's 100% owned by Tencent. We're in the World Championships. We have a team that is pro-China. So I guess, like, the main thing is that a lot of my opinions lie. Do you follow Brian Kibler at all?
I did see his statement today, but I don't follow him.
A lot of my feelings lie kind of where he is at, in the fact that Blizzard is wrong for banning him and taking his winnings for that long. It should be a fine or something, because they do have rules in accordance to what they want their views of their company to be, right? That being said, they obviously don't want their platform to be used for, like, political agendas, regardless of if it is a big enough issue or not, right? That Blizzard doesn't want that to be involved, right? So they do have rules in place. Therefore, they are fine. I'm fine with them punishing the casters for allowing it. I don't think they should have been nearly as severe. And I think there's a lot of other problems with, like, Blizzard with regards to that, and, like, Blizzard-China relations with other things in their games. I just think they're not completely wrong to, like, punish him, though. I feel like that's the only thing that I'm not really seeing much, I guess, lenience on, which seems like a little weird.
That perspective from the other side being like, hey, this is a private company running a private event, and this player took that as a chance to make his own political statement, like,
yeah, which it's an important
this
statement.
This platform was not built for that, and there are probably rules in his contract saying, like, that's not what the after game interview is for.
Exactly, and that's, like, how I see it, like, translating over to, like, League of Legends, right? Where Riot, like, there was posts on the subreddit today, like, outlining the things, like, we don't want stuff that, like, conflicts with our political whatever, right? So they have every right to do that. So I don't know. It's, like, such a weird area, I guess.
Yeah. They have every right to, if a player on a world stream makes that kind of comment, like, they have a right to punish that or react to it however they choose to. I think my point where I would think it's an issue is, again, right, like, if, let's say, Doublelift or Bjergsen went onto Twitter and posted their personal opinion, like, I would imagine, shouldn't get punished for that. I guess,
agree.
Depending on their contract, there might be something saying that they can't make those kind of statements on social media. Again, I'd need to dig into the contract, and I'm not a lawyer, but in general, right, like, if it's on Riot's stream that they're being paid to be on, like, hey, this is a corporate structure, you're an employee, there are things you can and cannot do. There's only so much free speech when you are essentially, a performer on a piece of entertainment content.
Yeah, and that's kind of what. Sorry, I don't not to cut you off, but just to finish my point. Like, that's kind of what Brian Kibler goes on to, like, say is, like, he's obviously participated in a ton of, like, Hearthstone tournaments. He's been a caster for a bunch of Blizzard things, and when he is a caster, he is representing the company. When he is a player on the world stage, he's representing the company. And even though his political opinions may completely go against certain views of the company, that's not his. It's not his, like, area to express those, right? That being said, he went on to say that his opinions do go against the whole China situation enough that he is stepping down from being a caster for, like, the remainder of the Grandmasters tournament that's going on. So I guess it's just like one of those things where like these are players like salaried by Riot Games, who is a company owned by Tencent. They are employees of the company, if you will. You know what I mean?
So there is that line, like they are employees of the company. However, because they are American citizens, they should be able to utilize their like free speech privately.
I agree.
But they absolutely should not use the company and League of Legends to represent their own, to push their own agenda. I think that's,
or to leverage it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's not okay in any circumstance, like regardless of, I guess the scenario in which it's happening. That being said, I think something that I guess I like, an opinion that I hold that is probably unpopular, but I think I think Riot has every right to not take a stance and to act in a way from a company's perspective that will maximize shareholder returns. And if that means like not taking a stance and not condemning the actions of China, I think that's completely fine. Because I do think there is this weird middle ground of Blizzard, for instance, taking a stance on gay pride, which is fantastic. Like I'm glad they were able to do that and push that super hard through Overwatch, through competitive Overwatch, and continue to do that. However, then to turn around and take this stance where, you know, we're going to severely punish a player for his opinion, and not take the humanitarian stance because of money. I think like that's having their cake and eating it too, and that's just not possible. So I think it's fine if Riot wants to steer clear of this entirely and not make a stance, but I don't know. I hope they don't get forced into doing that if they don't want to, I guess.
Also, like, I guess it's like kind of tangentially related, but I think that this is like a lot of where like the Blizzard stuff comes from. You do mention like characters in Overwatch have like they've supported like gay rights by having Tracer be a gay character, Soldier be an openly gay character, etc. Another thing that like I guess the whole China's hold over like the game market and the fact that they have such a large gaming population is that, from what I understand, I believe this is true. I've tried verifying it. It doesn't say anything to like not dispute my opinion or dispute my idea. I believe all those characters cannot, like in lore in China, aren't like gay characters.
I believe that's true.
So I guess that's another thing where I guess this whole problem comes from, where these companies are very much, I guess you have to be like financially focused, or like you have to do what's right best financially, but like it kind of feels fake, I guess, a lot of the time, and I feel like a lot of people have that problem. Because that is kind of like, it does feel kind of shitty where like you do want to make these characters, you're like, we think that this character is gay, we really support this, they're the face of our game. Tracer's the face of Overwatch, right? But then in your biggest market you go, nah, she's not, because she won't sell the game as well over there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's censorship. It's why like bosses in WoW look different, because they are like, you can't look at skulls or Karthus, for instance. But
yeah,
that goes
like,
even further to like canonical backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like, I expect to see some of this in League. Hopefully we don't, as big of an issue as it is. I think that it won't end well if we do see any of it in the next like couple weeks. It is a huge issue, but it's an issue that I don't know if should be like resolved in a League of Legends tournament.
Yeah. This is definitely not something that should, be resolved during. I guess like privately, players can handle it however they want. Publicly, they shouldn't take a stance, I guess.
Exactly. I think that they should do whatever they want on their own agenda, but I think making it during Worlds is like not super okay. Yeah.
That being said, I mean, like, it's tough because maybe that is their only exposure. Like, no, I feel like it's different. So the scenario in which Doublelift does it, right, where he does that on stream is vastly different than if, say, I couldn't even, like, if Lyra does it.
A minor region team player.
Right? Yeah,
right?
exactly. If someone from the Brazilian league does it. That's incredibly different, and the backlash will be tremendously different. However, like, I feel like it will be more impactful for that minor league player if they did do it on stream, and maybe that's the only way that they fear that their voice can be heard and that their opinion can be broadcast. So, like...
Yeah, right. They get that platform for a short period of time when they're trying to do something.
Yeah, because, I mean, I imagine Doublelift has probably among the most, like, I guess, far-reaching social media presence. And, like, so it's easy for him... It's easy for me to say, make that opinion privately versus someone who maybe has a couple hundred and doesn't feel like their voice can be as heard.
No, I completely agree.
Tough.
Yeah,
It's a tough situation. It's not necessarily league related yet. I think it will be, but that's not really like a conversation we want to have during our 400th celebration episode of Fun.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So hopefully we didn't upset anyone with that, and we tried to cover it in a very reasonable approach, and just being like, it's a tricky situation with a lot of complexities, and none of us are the type of people I think that are digging into all the weeds and have a really in-depth understanding of all of it.
Yeah, exactly. This is just like a very top
definitely
level
is
discussion.
Yeah, top level, and I think adjacent to League of Legends right now and probably coming into it soon. That being said, do we want to move into our meta sensor?
Yeah. We're going to be talking about mid lane Pyke, also known as River Pyke, is what I'm deeming it as. So, River Pyke or mid lane Pyke. Why are we playing? Actually, you want to go through his abilities first, then we'll talk about him after, I guess.
Yeah, let's do that.
If no one knows.
No, it says we start with the lore, Aiden.
Shut up.
Oh, hey, he's a
He's a
pirate
guy
man
who
got
kills
killed.
people.
And now he kills. Deep. How do you spell Pyke?
Pyke.
There he is. All right. Hey, his passive, Gift of the Drowned Ones. When he's hidden from enemies, he regenerates damage that he has recently taken from champions. He also cannot gain extra max health from any source and instead gains bonus attack damage. His Q is Bone Skewer. He either stabs an enemy in front or of him or pulls an enemy towards him if you channel it long enough. His W is Ghost Water Dive. He enters camouflage and gains significant movement speed that decays over time. His E is Phantom Undertow. He dashes and leaves behind a phantom that will return to him, stunning enemy champions along its path. And his ultimate is Death from Below. He blinks too and executes low health enemies, allowing him to cast the spell again and granting additional gold to an ally who assists. So basically, he's an assassin support character.
Yeah.
So we're playing him in the mid lane as an AD assassin.
Not as a support?
Not as a support.
Not as a support, no.
Not as a support.
Yeah. So I guess like the first way, like why are we playing him as like a mid laner is he functions very similarly to Talon. Talon being a AD assassin roam heavy character, if you will. But he does the same role, but kind of better right now. This is due to the fact that over the last couple of patches, we've seen a bunch of changes to Pyke. A lot of them were to like stop solo lane Pyke by like making his Q not AoE, making his E not do damage to minions. But the way that they compensated this was they made it so that if he gets a kill solo, he gets both sacks of gold. But if he assists the kill, both players get one sack of gold, which,
okay,
in theory, if you get a solo kill, gives you 600 extra gold, which is kind of gross. That's kind of like the main thing that kind of started this. So you get a fucked amount of gold if you get a kill. Keep that in mind. So the way that it's played is you build Tiamat so that you have wave clear, because now you have 0 wave clear in your kit, because Riot removed that. So you spend 975 gold to get your wave clear in your kit. And as soon as you get your wave clear in your kit, you roam whenever you can. You push out the wave and roam. Because if you get a kill, it's worth 300 to 600 gold based on, or 300 to 600 extra gold based on assist or not. And that's worth, how much minion's worth? Like, let's just say 20 a minion times 6. It's worth 2.5 waves worth of minions for every kill you get. So it turns this idea of Talon being a roamer into a character that can roam, but you're not gated by your CS. This is played at like Challenger, ELO, top and mid, and these players will end the game with sub 100 CS, and they'll have like most gold in the game because you're not gated by staying in your lane and CSing, which is a weird mechanic that kind of breaks how the game functions. So his role, mid lane assassin, roamer. That's why I'm calling him River Pyke, in the fact that you're spending most of your time out of lane. Summoners, you're going flash ignite every game. You can't really go anything else. You just need flash, obviously. Then you need ignite for kill pressure. Yeah, if you go TP, you're trolling because you have a billion movement speed anyways. Keystone, Hail of Blades. Hail of Blades, I actually had someone ask, I forgot to respond to them a couple of days why I was running Hail of Blades. It's for your trade pattern. When you hit a Q on them, it slows them at the end of it, and it allows you to get off all 3 autos. This is like just one of the easiest trade patterns in the game. If you hit a hook, you get all 3 autos no matter what. So it's actually insane.
As opposed to the slight little bit of damage, like Electrocute, I think it's what a lot of people go who haven't played much solo lane Pyke.
Mm-hmm.
And you can proc the Electrocute as well, but getting, instead of an Electrocute proc and 1 auto, like getting 2 more autos is going to do a lot more damage, especially once you have higher AD.
And Dark Harvest, although it feels good to like get a bunch of stacks, because you will get a bunch of stacks on Dark Harvest, you're never going to use Dark Harvest to kill someone unless you don't have ultimate. So it's like it kind of really gates your kill pressure, because your ult's going to be up, I would say, for the majority.
The Dark Harvest damage isn't really part of your combo.
Yeah, exactly. You'll just get the stacks, and it'll be great when your ult's down, but your ult's not down that often. So I guess for his like total keystones, I go down. I pick up obviously Hail of Blades in the Domination Tree. I pick up Sudden Impact. I think there's room to go Taste of Blood or Cheap Shot. I don't know. Maybe Sudden Impact's trolling. It's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
Then I guess it gives you 7. Like, how much is 7 lethality for your abilities? I guess the main thing is you get it for your abilities, right?
I mean, on average, it probably reduces like 5 armor, right?
No, I meant for like your abilities, because your stun scales off lethality.
Oh,
I don't remember how much it scales.
Probably not much. I think Taste of Blood is
how much
better.
I actually don't think so, because like the lethality item gives you 18, right? All of them. You're getting half a lethality item just by taking it. I think Sudden Impact's actually 100% the right call now.
I think it's right for Pyke, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really bad in general, though. I think 7 lethality's dog shit. Eyeball Collection, because you're going to get your kills every single game to stack that. And then Relentless Hunter, I think is super, super important. You need movement speed to like roam around all the time. I think there's room for Ravenous, or even Ingenious. Maybe you have 3 or 4 actives. I think it's 3 actives at most games, but I don't think it's as important as getting the movement speed.
Yeah, and I don't think that those active items are really ones that you're dependent on. They're just nice to have.
Exactly. And then you're going down Precision as your secondary, picking up Presence of Mind for your ultimate and the mana, and then a Legend Tenacity, so you can actually get in, and if you get CC'd, you can hopefully get out, which is kind of nice. I think there's room to go Alacrity, but I feel like it's just less good than Tenacity. And then I pick up double damage health as my 3, unless it's obviously like heavy AD or heavy MR, then I will pick up one of the flex resist runes. Cool. His build is the most static thing I've ever seen. Usually we say like there's like a couple core items in a build, but like it's really static. Every single game you're starting, I guess like in theory, if you're into a shit matchup, you could start Doran's Blade or Doran's Shield. But the reality is you're just farming for 900 gold. So I start Longsword just because it can get me there faster, because you need Tiamat as soon as you can. As soon as you hit your 975 gold, or like 975 gold minus your 350 for the Longsword that you start with, you want to back and get that, because that is your only wave clear. You're kind of just getting like shit on, except for like your level 1 trade, until you get Tiamat. So you go Tiamat, Boots. You get the choice between Yomu's or Duskblade, and then you buy the other one later. Most people buy Duskblade first. I like Yomu's first for like roam and stuff, but you can go either one, maybe depending on how well you're winning lane. So Youmuu's Duskblade, GA. Then you can decide between getting Edge of Night or finishing up your Ravenous Hydra, and then you do the opposite one after that. And then like every single game, I like finish 6 items, like even at like 20-minute games or like 30-minute games. So I've been deciding between going Elixir of Iron and Elixir of Wrath as my like 7th purchase thing, and I don't know which one's better. I think Elixir of Iron's almost always better.
Really?
Because you don't really need the physical damage heal from Wrath, and you get only, I think, 7 less AD from going Iron, because it's 300 health, which is converted to AD. So it's just 25% tenacity, and it gives your allies movement speed versus healing.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, I think that Path of Iron is really helpful because this Pyke, you can run in there and make a lot of things happen and then leave that path behind. As well as, I don't think the healing from your abilities matters so much as having that tenacity to get out and let your passive heal you.
Because it's important to note, like, your health is converted to AD, so like your 300 health from Iron is like 24 AD or something like that. So you're not really missing out on any AD, which is really cool as like a final thing to pick up on him. And then you can swap out GA. What would you swap out GA for whenever it's down? Would be like my other like question. I haven't figured that out.
Maw, I think is really good on Pyke. I think other than that, I don't think that Dead Man's Plate is bad. Because you're going to get a lot of AD and then just that extra movement speed to help you get somewhere quickly.
Hear me out. Lethality Dagger. It's ready to
I actually think that's really good.
That as well.
I think that's actually insane.
just leave it as Dirk and then sell it when GA's back up.
Yeah. So a lot of people will question that, Nick. That's been a thing for a while. In the fact that you can't your lethality that you get from all your lethality items, keep lighting up, is unique. So your Duskblade's unique, your Youmuu's is unique, and your Edge of Night is unique. So is your Dirk. So meaning you can have all 3 of those, and then you're like, hey, I'm out of lethality items. I can't get any more lethality. Then you can buy Dirk, so it gives you another 10 lethality. That's actually, I think that might be maybe not better than a full item, but like it's a lot cheaper to switch out your GA for like a Dirk when it's down.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of that that I want to say cheesy, but it wasn't cheesy. That like double Sork Shoes Karthus for a bit, where you got that like spike right away, but it was definitely not as efficient if the game went super late. It feels very much like that. So I guess if you have GA's like cheaper than a full item, and then if you sell it, although I guess this Pyke you're not really concerned with gold.
You'll probably have enough, yeah.
Although is there like a better like full item? Maybe Death Dance then?
Death Dance is good. I think Maw is good. But if you don't have the gold, I do think just picking up lethality is good because it gives you 15% movement speed, 0.1 second extra stun duration, and on your ultimate it gives you, gives you a little bit of ult damage.
I think another consideration would be Mercurial Scimitar.
Yeah,
Scimitar.
I think of the Scimitar. My bad.
I thought you were memeing.
I am a child of the rune
That's
skimmy
true.
days. So I that happens. That comes out from now and then. But I think in general that's a pretty common flip flop is between the QSS and the GA. So depending on team comp, right? If you have that much tenacity and a cleanse that gives you movement speed, like they can't pin you down.
Nice.
Awesome.
Best. Does he have more than one skin? He does. Project
I guess,
and. Sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to say just a couple other things about him.
Sure.
Ganking bottom is obviously better than ganking top because there's 2 kills that you can reset off of. That being said, just gank anywhere and try to catch your wave whenever you can. Just because you don't need CS doesn't mean you shouldn't get it. It's still like a lot of gold, and you do clear it pretty fast when you get Tiamat. But once again, just roam, double invade with your jungler, get kills wherever you can, and try to last hit every single kill you can with your ultimate. Every single extra 300 gold that you get from your ult just pushes you further and further ahead. It's really good. You just snowball really hard. Yeah,
it's like that. Every single ult kill you get makes the subsequent ult kills much easier. So it's a very exponentially steep curve, I guess.
Yeah.
So you scale a lot harder than a lot of other characters do. Was that it before we go into skin?
I think so. I guess like he just has like a couple bad lanes. A lot of ranged lanes are pretty bad for him. And I guess he gets shut down by health, like healers, like Soraka. In theory, like I think Soraka is his biggest counter in the game. In the fact that if you jump in, if you like charge your hook, she silences you. If you jump in, she silences you. She can heal. She can heal people out of your ultimate. Shield characters don't stop you at all. Your ult goes through shields just based on their health, which is huge. So meaning you fuck up characters like Alistair, you fuck up characters like Janna, any character with like huge shield you absolutely destroy. Tom Kench is probably the easiest character in the game. If he doesn't know exactly what his ratio is, he's gonna have such a hard time shielding your damage. I guess a lot of people don't know that it goes through shields.
Shields, yeah.
Also, if Morgana puts a black shield on someone, you can't see their ratio anymore.
Huh. That's super interesting, actually.
It still executes them, but you can't see like what if they're executable.
Weird.
I'm not sure if that's intentional or not.
Yeah, it seems like interesting if it is intentional, but a weird like bug if it's not.
Yeah,
Huh.
he's really good though. He's a character that can solo carry a game just because of how much gold you get. Gold's a really important resource in the game.
Yep. For sure.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Pyke. Sandwraith, Blood Moon, or Project? It's got to be Sandwraith,
I like
right?
Sandwraith. Yeah.
Super
Blood
sweet.
Moon's really good too though.
I mean, they're all super great skins. I like the sound effects that are different for his ulti, like in all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Super good.
That's fair.
Plus, his base skin is he's a cool character. Very well done. Awesome. I'm gonna make it the executive decision. Aiden, you
Okay.
talked a bunch there. So instead, we're gonna talk about Worlds.
Hell yeah.
Let's talk about Worlds. 399. We're changing the format soon anyway. Who cares? Rules out the window. So we have the play-ins are finished. The groups have been finalized. I think those kind of go hand in hand. So we'll just talk about the groups, and then we'll do pick'ems live. We're gonna do our pick'ems right away, and we're not gonna do like the fun who would win pick'ems because I think we can only do that. We can only do one or the other, and I think taking it more seriously would be more fun. So in Group A, we have
Group A.
G2, Griffin, Cloud9, and Hong Kong Attitude. So do we want to talk about this, or should we run through the groups real quick? I think we should just zoom as we go, right?
Yeah, we'll do them as we go.
All right. So who are we taking as the first seed? I think it comes down between G2 and Griffin.
I'm putting Griffin first. I'm one of those people that hopes that Cloud9 comes second. I'm not going to put Cloud9 second, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
I think
everyone wants Cloud9s to get out of this
Yeah.
group, but it's really tough to say they're going to beat Griffin and G2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to take G2 first. Griffin second, Cloud9, Hong Kong.
Huh.
That's what my group was. Just because I think that G2 will probably get like a game off of like a free game off of Griffin with just like a wonky strat.
Yeah, these are best of ones, and I
And-
think G2's the best team in the world, the best of ones.
That's fair.
Yeah.
How was yours, Aiden? Colton and I have the same.
Griffin, G2, Cloud9,
Okay.
HKA.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So only swapping the 1 and 2.
As much as I would like to put G2 below Cloud9 and Griffin, I think
Yeah.
there's a reality where G2 could be first, and I just like I think it'd be so funny if they crash and burn.
Yeah, it would be pretty great.
It'd be funny.
It would be funny. Although it would be great if they do well as well.
I mean, I think they have like so. Spoiler: I didn't mean to ever disclose this because I feel like it's not a good thing to disclose on the show. But for the last like 6 months, I've been like, I put $25 on a like league gambling site
Oh.
to like bet on games just because it's like a fun thing.
Yeah.
And I've been up to like 70. I've been down to like 15.
Ooh.
I'm back up to like 45 or something like that. And so I had the option to bet on who was going to win Worlds, right? So my options were G2, Fun Plus, SKT, or Damwon, or anyone else.
Ooh. I feel like you
So
have to bet on anyone else.
I put money on G2 and anyone else.
Okay. Those are probably the safe bets.
Yeah, it's like It's fun though. SKT had like the worst ratio. Like most people think that SKT is going to win Worlds, I guess.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I think Damwon was best numbers, is like 8-1 ratio.
Yeah.
Which I guess it's 1 in 16 chance, or 1 in 12 realistically if like the bad team's eliminated. But
Yeah. Interesting.
it's fun.
All right. Group B, we have Fun plus Phoenix, Splice, who made it in. Is this Gigabyte Marines? Right?
Yeah.
And
I think it's just GAM now, is what I've
Oh,
heard.
it's just
Is that
GAM.
like the name Gigabyte Marines is gone, but
Lame.
yes.
and
pretty
then J Team. So this is tough.
I think the main thing is like,
So I think off the bat,
Yeah,
Fun
that's
plus
the-
Phoenix
that's the
1,
easy one.
J Team 4.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to give Splice 2. I think they played pretty okay in play-ins. And I'm not
Then
sold
how do you
on
decide
Gigabyte.
the last two?
Gigabyte. Yeah. I think Gigabyte. All right. Fuck. I think GAM 3, J Team 4. Just because I'm more familiar with that name.
Yeah, I think so as well. They've been known for their cheese and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm putting GAM at 2, just so I don't have the same exact bracket as you guys.
Okay.
it's funny though. I'm also gonna put Gamut too.
You're ruining my strat. Now I need to put J Team at 2.
No, but hear me out. Like, I think Splice.
I'm sorry?
You definitely
Yeah.
cut out there.
Sorry, I cut out.
So he's
I was
yeah.
just saying that I think Splice played the worst of all the playing teams.
Okay.
Like that qualified. I think they were absolute dog shit.
Do you think they played the hardest team, though? Do you think Unicorns of Love was the best, like, runner-up?
I do. I do think Unicorns of Love was the best runner-up, but I think Unicorns of Love also played like trash.
Okay. Interesting.
And I don't know, maybe I was watching the different like stream or something from everyone else. I saw no one like. Did you watch any of the games, by the way, of that series? Because I watched all 5. Watch that series. Watch Edward play for Unicorns of Love. People are like, Edward played really well that game. He throws out a Morgana Q off cooldown for the entire like 4. He plays Morgana 4 games of that set. He throws Morgana Q out on cooldown for 4 games, and it's just bad. It's bad. Like it's like how Gold play. Like maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I'm like off base because I saw 0 people like talk about this, but they were just bad. Like it was like he would throw a Q and then they would just pressure in because he'd miss it, right?
Yeah. Once that
You
slows
know
down,
the whole thing of like,
there's no pressure.
yeah, it's like the whole Blitzcrank thing, right? Holding Blitzcrank Q is better than missing Blitzcrank Q by like a lot. And I thought I was going crazy. Like he just throws it on cooldown for 3 games in a row. I don't know. I feel like Unicorns of Love played like shit. I just feel like Vizichachi is one of the worst top. He probably is the worst top laner left at the tournament, with the exception of the wild card like teams. So Splice is, I don't know. I don't see how Splice beats any. I don't even see like Vizichachi winning lane in that group.
Wow.
I think he's bad. I think their mid laner's bad. I think their jungler's really good, and I think their bottom lane's pretty good. But man, I was so not impressed that they won.
Yeah. I'll have to watch this game soon.
It just makes me want to not have play-ins though.
Yeah. But how do you
Like
how do you
just
get
the
around
quality
that,
of the.
you know?
I don't know. It feels bad. You can't just go fuck you, OC, Brazil, whatever.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You can't just. It just feels like we don't need 16 teams. There's not 16 good enough teams if you want to split up regions evenly. If you just want to go,
I think the biggest issue is that if you want to have 16 teams there should probably be more than 3 teams from Korea and China.
that's what I'm trying to get at. Like there
Yeah.
there is 16 top tier teams, but probably 5 of them are from China, 5 of them from Korea. 2 of them are from EU, and 1 of them's from NA, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
And there was only 13 teams you mentioned.
That's what I mean. We
And
don't
then the
need a
3 are,
tournament
like,
for that many teams.
among the other regions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't know. It's silly to me.
Yeah.
Oh well.
All right, so you want to jump on into
I wanna
group
do
C?
Group
Yeah,
G.
the fucking. Okay, yeah, good call.
I want to do Group C last because that's the one that's going to be the most fun. That I think we should save our surprise picks for.
So Group D, who do you put after Damwon, Nick?
I put Invictus after Damwon. I think this is set up too well for Team Liquid to fail, and I think they're going to fail. This is like the perfect storm. Like they got a pretty decent group. They only have to do better than one team, right? Because I assume AHQ will not be winning any games.
They'll beat them once to upset them.
That's probably what's going to happen. Team Liquid's going to do pretty okay. Split games with Invictus and split games with Invictus. Drop 2 games against Damwon. Lose split games against AHQ. And then Invictus is not going to do that, and they're going to have 1 game lead and get sent to quarters.
Or even more likely, they'll split games against AHQ. Invictus will split games against AHQ to give the upset.
Oh, and then get 2-0 by.
Yeah, Team Liquid beats AHQ, loses twice to Damwon, goes 1-1 with Invictus, and then their second game against AHQ they throw. You know what I mean? And everyone goes, "Oh fuck, Team Liquid, fuck!" And then Invictus throws against AHQ,
and
they're like, "Oh," and then they lose.
I just think logically, Team Liquid has the second seed. Realistically, there's no way, dude. This is this is script writing 101 for Worlds.
Yeah.
I'm trusting my boy Core JJ to bring his title and get the Worlds buff.
Can you okay, obviously Doublelift's super good, right? Can you imagine I can't believe I'm fucking saying this after last year World. Can you imagine a Cody Sun Core JJ lane? Holy fuck, dude. That might be one of the best bot lanes in the world.
I mean, Doublelift's really good.
Doublelift is very good. Cody Sun underrated though.
Yeah, he's underrated. I agree.
Underrated.
I also think Cody Dunned last time he was at
That's
Worlds.
true.
So.
That's true.
That means so did Doublelift. Doublelift's fucking. Yeah, I can't say that. Never mind. You're right. That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what were your other ones, Colton? Damwon, Team Liquid, Invictus.
I've got Damwon, Liquid, Invictus, HQ.
Okay. And Colton, Aiden, you were agreeing with me, right? Invictus too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's take a deep breath. All right, we got the.
Do you want to go blind from the bottom?
Let's go blind from the bottom.
I feel like it's less obvious here.
I think so too. Absolutely.
More obvious.
Fourth.
Why don't we? 3, 2, 1.
It's Clutch Gaming. Okay.
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 Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Fnatic.
Royal.
Oh. Okay. Interesting.
I guess that one. We should go through it first. 3, 2, 1. Fnatic.
SKT.
Okay.
What did you guys say? I only heard my own voice.
Fnatic.
Okay.
Aiden and I both
Gotcha.
said Fnatic.
So you guys are putting SKT then at 1.
SKT, yeah.
I'm putting
And
Royal at 1.
Yeah, so you're just switching. Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, I guess I feel like SKT. Well, the thing is, SKT fucking smashed Damwon and Griffin.
That's true.
That's my logic here is they fucking
There's that,
plowed them.
and there's just I'm a believer in the idea of Worlds buff. I feel like it's been shown time and time again that certain teams just show up to international competition, and I think that Fnatic and SKT are some of those teams. I'd say Royal is one of them too, but I think SKT is gonna win the whole thing probably. And if I had to pick between Fnatic and Royal, I'd much rather have Fnatic get through. So that's kind of my reason.
For sure.
on it.
That's fair.
So that's how I want it
That
to
being
be.
said, I think we should talk about historically Worlds buff. Yes, absolutely. Group stage buff. Group stage Royal never give up. Okay, you're kidding me if you're not putting them through.
True.
They don't get out. Yeah, they don't not get out.
Yeah,
of groups, right?
Group of Death has RNG in it, and they are getting out. Those are
fair.
those are the two facts of Worlds.
That's how you define what is a group of death.
Yeah.
Is Royal never give up in it, and did they make
For
it
sure.
out?
That being said,
Is Royal in it? Who's the other team getting out?
Exactly. That's the best if then chart. I that being said, I do think SK is the favorites and should be the favorites. I think they look like the most complete team currently. I do think they tend to struggle historically. I've not watched the list a lot of them this particular year. Historically in best of ones, SKT not great. I think their strength absolutely lies within best of 3, best of 5s. And I do think they will be in the finals, if not winning them. But I could absolutely see them dropping a game against Fnatic. Like a one game against Fnatic. Maybe they don't respect the Kiana Rumble and Clutch takes a game. I do think it's going to be SKT Royal getting out. I think Royal's going to be the number 1 seed. I think SKT will then sweep the rest of the tournament pretty handedly. But I could see Fnatic getting out too. Like it's tough. This is maybe the hardest like group Worlds has ever had.
At face value, obviously upsets are like different.
Yeah, for
but
sure. Upsets an actual.
You're
like,
making
play.
me reconsider. You're making me reconsider my 2-3 right now.
I mean, hey, you got 2 days to lock it in. I'm just saying, it's so difficult to count RNG out, like not only at an international event but in group stage. Yeah, I guess I'll take a picture of that too, and then that's
yeah,
smart.
I just like put mine on Twitter, so like might as well just post it here as well. Yeah.
Well,
that's exciting though.
Yeah, if you want to check out our final ones, you can hop in our Discord and then check in with the podcast live chat portion, and that's where it'll be. Cool. So let's get back to roundtable now.
I guess just one more thing, like just to touch on the LCS section, because we might as well just like skip over after because we're kind of done this. Do you guys think there's a better format for groups? Because like there's a huge kerfuffle in the fact that it kind of does suck that Group B is the easiest group we've probably ever seen at Worlds, and because there's 3 bad teams in it, and then Group C is really sad because we have probably 2 or 3 of the top 6 teams, and then a top 10 team probably.
I think honestly they should remove the restriction that you can't double up on a region within a group.
Huh.
Right, like
I
how they
think
try and prevent.
The only exception, I disagree with the exception that. Okay, so I agree. However, the 1 and 2 seeds from regions shouldn't be in a group together. How about that?
Yeah. China 1 and China 2 should not be in the same group, but China 1 and China 3 absolutely should be allowed. China 2, China 3 should be allowed.
Yes, I think that's the best way to handle it. I don't know how that would look like otherwise, or like if that would make things a lot more difficult to plan.
Yeah, you're shooting the shit as ideas. It's not like you've
but I
worked
guess
through
just
this.
like imagine if Clutch and Splice just flip flopped right now. Like those are better groups.
Yeah, I mean
now you have 2 good teams getting out of Group B.
Yeah, I mean a more balanced like group would be you swap RNG or I guess you swap RNG and Splice, right? RNG and anyone in that group. But I think like that makes groups less interesting to watch, I guess. Because like
there definitely is an interest factor of like having upsets and stuff.
Oh, for sure. Like I would not be surprised if this Group C was like one of the most watched of all time.
Oh yeah, it's gonna have crazy numbers.
Granted, like it probably won't compare to a finals, but versus like for group stage, absolutely, this is gonna be nuts. I do think there's like hype behind that, and then I do think there's something to be said for like if you're the best team, you're gonna beat the best teams. Like if you're the best team in the world, it shouldn't matter how you get seeded or how you get grouped, because at the end of the day, you need to win the games that you're playing, and if you win the games that you're playing, like you're gonna win the championship.
I agree with that 70% though. I think the problem is though that Fnatic, SKT, or Royal, let's look at them. Those could be 3 out of 4 top teams.
Absolutely.
And one of them will be a top 16 team. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of shitty, I think.
It is, yeah.
I think the easiest beginning to solutions for this is, first of all, making Taiwan not count as a second seed team. Because outside of Flash Wolves, they're, I think, like one in a crazy amount of games for like wins, losses at international events. Outside of Flash Wolves, they just aren't a second seed team. It fucks up groups so much too. They need to make them a third seed team. Also, I think it would be nice if we had a pick system. I'm not sure how this would work fully, but just think of it as like you have your first seeds being G2, Fun Plus, SKT, and who is the Team Liquid, right? They get to pick the They get to pick a second seed team for their group. Like randomly drawn, they get pick order, and then that second seed gets to pick another second seed team for their group, and then that second seed team gets to pick the third seed team after play-ins are done, randomly drawn. I think that makes it more balanced. I think there's a little bit of randomness feels a little bit worse in the fact that I guess it's random either way, but it feels worse when someone's picking and you get last pick, so you don't get to pick and then you kind of get fucked on it. But it's still the exact same amount of randomness. I just think it makes every group more balanced, right? Because G2 doesn't pick Griffin, right? Obviously, Fun Plus probably will pick one of those teams. SKT doesn't pick Fnatic or RNG. Team Liquid doesn't pick Invictus. You know what I mean? It makes everything balance out till the last couple picks.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm not sure how that would work, because like you'd probably want discussion about like who you're going to pick and stuff like that, and that would like make it delayed and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I feel like overall that would create a much more balanced system.
Yeah, I suppose so.
It just feels shitty, I guess.
It does.
Also, like, there's a whole argument of like them being best of ones. I don't think it's that big of a deal, them being best of ones, honestly.
No, I don't think so either. Like, especially with the double round robin.
Mm-hmm. I think would you rather have a double round robin or one best of 3 for each
double
team?
round robin, absolutely.
I think so as well. I think adapting over like a set of days is better, honestly, rather than just having an off day.
Yeah, because usually those best of ones are played like a week apart, right? Like you'll have the first time it happens, and then everyone else plays, like all the other groups play, and then you play again. Yeah, I do think that's better. And I think like if we look at it from a macro perspective, Worlds should be about like the best team, and best of ones are a measure, maybe not the best measure, but a measure of a team that is good. I mean, we could take G2. In a best of one, they look like the best team in the world, right?
How would you feel about if they did like a triple round robin?
I mean, obviously,
because it would be the same number of games as a best of 3s, right?
Only if they weren't 2-0s. Although I guess like double round robin with a, although I guess these are what tiebreakers are, right? Double round robin with a potential third if you split.
Kind of is, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like the main thing is that the event's already 1 month long, right? Mm-hmm. It's the same length as the international, if not longer. International obviously has way more streams. Some of them are like, I think some of them are some of them are uncasted. I'm not sure, or are they all casted? Maybe just like less. So.
I believe they're all casted, but a lot of them are with like maybe not amateur casters, but certainly like it's you're not getting like Kobe and Freak to cast the play-ins.
Because I think the main thing is Riot doesn't want the competition to be longer than a month, right? A month is already really long for like a championship, right?
For a live event,
So I think making it into like, first of all, I guess the main thing is I don't think there's ever a world where we're getting like losers bracket. That's never going to happen. And I think that's fine. I think it is about the world championship, like who is the winner. I think, yes, it would help determine better who's second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever. But I don't think that's the whole point. That's why there's no third place match at Worlds.
Because it doesn't carry any weight.
I do think group stage could be done better though, and I think like making it either triple round robin or making it 2 sets of best of 3s or something like that, and like having just an extra stream, it would decrease their viewership overall. But I think it would make groups better. Maybe, I'm not sure. I think there's other things that need to be addressed first, like how to fix groups balancing and stuff though.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, that only exists like, I feel like groups are more entertaining this way, not necessarily a better measure of like, or like a better measure of skill or more fair method. But it's certainly more entertaining to get these groups of death with RNG in it every single year.
Yeah, I just feel like it's probably a lot shittier as like a player. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Like,
for sure.
Could you imagine you qualify Worlds and you go, okay, let's sit around the TV and watch if we get fucked? You know what I mean?
Like Fnatic? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. We drew SKT, who is widely regarded as the best team in the world, and RNG, who, like, honestly, looks like one of the better teams.
Should be a first seed, yeah.
For sure, yeah. Like, oh, we drew essentially the 2 first seeds in the 2 hardest regions. Cool, dude. See you next year, I guess.
Yeah.
Where,
That's why I think like addressing that issue would be better than addressing all the
Yeah.
other issues that people have.
Yeah. The only merit I think it has to like groups being shitty is that Fnatic would have an easier run if they had lost the second, like if they lost the third place.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, if they finished third as opposed to second. So
Yep.
placing better punish them, but I don't know. It'll be fine. The best team will win, I think.
Yep, I agree.
So fun. We'll have to see. We'll have to check in and see how that goes. I'm excited. It's gonna be hella fun. That group of death. Whew.
I'm
Inject
excited,
that
man.
into my veins. All right, let's do roundtable. Sneak on back.
Yeah, so last week's question was, what is one champion ability that you always call by a different name? We got a billion responses. Most of them were like stuff like we were saying, where they're just like what the ability is, but not what it's called, like hook, stuff like that. But people seem to like the question. We got some good ones, though. From Facebook, Steven said, I'm partial to calling Mord's Q the clobber, as in, for the love of God, don't walk at him, he's going to clobber you. Greg says, Malzahar, don't even know the name of the ability, but it's Space Age. I feel like that's probably the biggest one that has caught on. It's so weird that it's caught on. Dustin said, Pantheon Mandrop, no idea what it's really called. Kenneth said, Gregus Belly Flop, can't remember the real name either. Cody said,
Body slam.
Belly Flop. Cody said, Malphite Alt, Smash and Dash. And then Ryan on Facebook said, Scion R is the pain train,
Nice.
which I like a lot. From our Discord, Fried Waffle Sloth said, Vigar's E, his stun. My friends and I call Baby Cage. The real name is Event Horizon, but it will never change the fact that the real name is the Baby Cage. Guitar Guru said, Malphite's Q is the cheese wheel. And then Pards Bay said, not sure if it counts, but I refer to Scarl as Bike. So I will say Kled no Bike
Kled no
when
Bike.
he's down and stuff.
That's a good
And
one.
then last but not least, Speedy Spike said Cassiopeia's W equals big comes.
That one's lame.
Yeah.
Speedy Spikes, you could have done better.
Yeah, huge comes way.
Also, how did
Yeah.
you not pull that one guys that was like, oh, Twitchy is expunge?
Oh, because you responded to it.
Yeah, that's
And I don't
'cause
like
you
doing
should've
stuff that
picked
excites you.
Should have picked it.
Anyways, this week's question is one straight off the top of the dome. It's, what League of Legends character would you want to be the protagonist of an anime?
Boom, Lucian. Next question.
Lucian would be really sick, actually.
That'd be so fucking cool.
Same with Echo, though.
I want
Echo would be the coolest. Fucking time
Echo would be
reversal,
pretty
reversal is so cool, right?
Yeah.
I want to see a Twisted Fate anime.
Yeah.
I feel like
Just
he would be a good
gambling?
like
Like-
side character.
Yeah.
You know what? That's fair. It would have to be like one of the Bilgewater characters, but like I want like a gritty realism pirate anime.
That'd be so
With
one
Twisted
One
Fate
Piece?
gameplay. No.
I love you so much.
No.
Holy fuck. Nick, in my rank game yesterday, fuck. Okay, my favorite thing in League of Legends ever is just like interacting with players. Like, I love picking the brains of players, right? Because like they are an archetype. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I had a misfortune in my game, and her name was Pirate King L or something like that. Or Pirate King. It was Pirate King EL. I went, hey, is your name based on that pirate fellow from that anime? And she goes, no, sir, but I get that a lot, smiley face. And I'm like, but you've heard of that pirate fellow? And she goes, yeah, I love the anime.
Okay, interesting. But it's not
Oh,
based
it's
off
cute.
of it. My summoner name is Goku kills Vegeta. I've heard of Dragon
It's
Ball Z.
not based
I
off
kinda
Dragon
like
Ball
it.
Z.
It's not that though.
It's just so cute. I just love like playing around, like not like in a mean way ever, just like a fun like.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like little. It's fun, dude. I love it.
I feel like also a Demacia arc would be super interesting because it's a lot
Ooh.
of like morality and what is right versus like what is actually right. I just
And
want
we already got the manga.
Plus, what a villain Swain would make,
True. He's
We already
basically
got the
already an
manga
anime
now.
villain.
right?
I just want like a
Swain
Jarvan
would make
versus
such a good
Swain.
anime villain.
That'd be cool.
You mean Jarvis versus LeBlanc? Or sorry, fuck. Other way
Oh,
around.
so
Fuck,
Fight
sorry.
Club.
Yeah, you can't. He's just gonna fight himself the whole movie without realizing.
How many people do you think know that?
Probably very few. I mean, that was from something at this point, probably like 7 or 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
In just one picture.
That was never touched on again because they scrapped their lore.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Did you answer, Aiden? Oh, you said Echo.
Yeah, Echo, super cool.
Nice.
Annoying, but super cool.
Zon.
So, yeah, I already answered it. If you want to answer this week's roundtable question, go to our Facebook page at LeagueCast, send us an email, mail@leaguecastpodcast.com, or post in our roundtable section on our Discord. You can get the link on our website.
Sweet. Colton, why don't you tell us about this cheese? Oh, just kidding. It's Aiden's cheese pick.
Yeah, this is Aiden's cheese pick.
So this is
He has submitted, so I will let him talk, and then I'll tell him it's shit.
so I apparently, I did see this. Like, this is what triggered it. This was played in Korea like, I don't know, 2 months ago, something like that.
Oh, so it's not a meta pick.
It's
okay.
meta, but it got played once, and I think they lost. But I think it's really good. And I think I saw
Surely it's not as meta as something like playing Zyra Khan, right?
that was my favorite thing. So I go to Colton's stream and I go, Colton, I got an idea. We're gonna play Hob. We're gonna play Hob. He goes, oh, what does that mean? I'm like, it's Hail of Birds bot. And he goes, someone in the chat goes, oh, is that Zyra and Rakan with Hail of Blades? And Colton goes, nah, Aiden probably is more cheesy than that. It's probably like a Zir in there or something like that. And I go, no. No, it's just Zaya and Rakan with Hail of Blades. The whole idea is that you both level W. Rakan knocks them up. Zaya uses her W ability, and you kill them instantly because you both attack 6 times immediately, and they die. And that's the lane.
Pog. I'm so excited.
I think it's good. I actually think it's good. I feel like
I think it'll be
people
real
can't play
fun to
against
play.
it. Cool. Colton, is it cheese or shit?
Yeah. It's neither. It's not cheese. It's Zyra Khan, Aiden.
It's not shit though, right? It's not cheese either.
It's not shit. It's not shit. This is like American cheese. It's not really cheese.
But sometimes it hits the spot just right.
But sometimes you gotta slap
Sometimes
it in between
you
two
making
pieces
grilled
of bread,
cheese.
if you know what I mean.
The main thing about a cheese pick, though, this is the most important part to me, is coming up with a name. And coming up with Hob, I think is like, that's all I really care about. That makes the cheese pick. Colton, you don't come up with names for your cheese as much. Like, I think Hail of Birds bot is a great name.
I think at one point I did, right, where there was like the slap chop build. Like, that was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But I feel like some of them don't really lend themselves well to like names like that, and a lot of times it's like you come up with a name first and then you try and figure out some build to fit it.
Well, next week you can talk about Silbel.
I surely can.
I was wondering what the fuck that was.
We were going to do Silbel, but then we tried it and we went
Not great. That was, I think that was my jungle
17?
Echo game, right?
No, that was your Kale game where you solo carried the entire game.
Oh, true. I forgot
because
about that.
Colton and I went fucking.
Oh yeah, that was the fucking Bard Vane lane, right?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
True.
I still think that lane's good.
Bard Vane.
So I don't think we're gonna do it as cheese pick, because it's bad. But like what I originally was gonna do as cheese pick, unless Colton tries to reinvent it and make it better, was Sobel, which is solo lane bottom lane. It turns solo lane into a bottom lane, and how you do this is by picking a Mordekaiser.
Turns bottom lane into 2 solo
You
lanes.
one bottom lane, 2 solo lane. You pick Mordekaiser and then someone who's like really, really strong. So Mordekaiser can be a carry or a support. So if Mordekaiser is the carry, he eats their carry like into his ultimate, and then your support kills their support. And if you play him as support, your Mordekaiser eats their carry, and then he just like survives while your support fucking owns their AD or owns their support, or your AD carry owns their support. Yeah. And then it comes out and then kills their AD carry. So you just turn bottom lane into 2 solo lanes, and it's really good, I think. Except that we played it once and we died 17 times.
Got bootied.
I'm trying to remember who I even played
Cho'Gath.
that game.
Cho'Gath is a dog shit pick for
Cho'Gath and Devane, yikes.
Cho'Gath is not a good pick for that, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Cho'Gath, maybe Mordekaiser Pantheon? Pantheon's
I
pretty
think
OP.
Pantheon. I think Kiana's good.
Yeah.
I think anything with like a lot of base damage is good as well.
Yeah. Nice.
They just need to be able to kill the support. Is the reality.
What cheese are you pairing
In
with
8
that, Aiden?
seconds.
Is that American?
No, that's not. That's in the garbage right now. We have to pull that one out and like repurpose it.
Need to workshop that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant for Hello Bird. Sorry.
Oh, that's just bird cheese.
Cheese Whiz?
Yeah, bird cheese.
Bird
Bird
cheese.
cheese. So there's, I highlighted this one because I definitely, I saw the name and I was just like, it made me think of like the other night I was walking to my car and there's so many fucking birds here right now because they're all like migrating south. And I'd never thought about it before because like I'm from Illinois where the birds all leave, and you're just like, okay, there aren't birds anymore. Whereas now I'm in Texas in fucking October and it's just birds everywhere, like just thousands of birds in like a single tree. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I had to think about it for a minute and be like, oh, I'm in the South now.
Nice.
It was just weird. Does that happen in Florida
There are
too?
a bunch of birds flying around? Yeah.
Yeah.
We get Canadian geese, which are awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck Canada.
They're just so
The
mean,
worst
and they
birds.
shit everywhere.
They shit everywhere.
And sometimes they do blackface.
They're like 2-year-olds.
You're just mean.
That's true. Colton, take us into mail fight.
Yeah, we're on a mail fight now. What, like an hour 45 into the show. First email is from Sam. Hello and greetings to the best League of Legends podcast on the platform. I've been listening to the podcast for a while now, and I have to say it's probably the best thing to happen to my game knowledge. I started playing in 2015 and gave up because I just couldn't get a handle on it. After getting reintroduced to it, I started to listen to you nerds, and it helped me so much. I've yet to start my ranked games, even though I've been here forever. I guess I just can't get over the fear of getting placed low. But hopefully next season I'll be a better jungler and laner and start to climb. Long story short, thank y'all for being a saving grace for me at work, and for giving me hours of juicy content to binge when I join the Patreon. Hope y'all are having a great week. Keep up the good work. Love you, boys. And this is from Sam/Crix.
Pod. Thanks for the feedback.
Yeah, and thanks for shouting out our
Patreon for $1 or $2 a month. You can feed us. We're very hungry boys.
Hell yeah.
Hungry for
Yeah,
cashola.
we're not going to grow up big and strong if you don't throw money
Eat
at
your
us.
greens.
We've been getting lots of homies to sub into our Patreon.
That's
I
true.
appreciate it.
That's
We're going to start putting out some good stuff.
That being said,
Episode.
play your fucking placement games, dude. Being
Yeah,
placed,
just play them.
being unranked is worse than being iron. At least I have respect
I don't
for
know
you
if
if
that's
you're iron. True facts. Just kidding, I respect you. This is 2019. Hey, next email is from Razgriz. He says, hey guys, last episode you were talking about some cool league names some people had. I have a notepad folder on my desktop. Is this an Aiden email? Where I save names I think are cool that are open on NA. Here are some of them. Don't have to read all of them because some are real edgy. Just thought I'd share. So I went through, pulled out some good ones. I think Does Cutie Shower is worth a listen. Do a backflip, pretty okay. I personally like 7:30, 8:30 Central got me for some reason. Made me giggle. Nasher's Peen, Out of Deodorant, TSM Jungler. Those are a lot of the highlights in my opinion. But the full list was in our general chat from a couple days ago, I think.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mr. Razgriz. Good names.
Hell yeah. Colton, this is here. Colton, this is where you go.
Sorry, Nick. You went so fast,
You're on the third one.
and I got distracted. Yes. This next email is from Teddy. Hey guys, I think it could be cool if you guys coordinated or hosted in-house games. You could stream the games, and it could be a fun way for your listeners to get involved. Obviously, it depends on how much interest you'd get, but you could break them up by rank. In-houses are my favorite way to play League for sure, so I thought I'd suggest it. Let me know what you think. Cheers, Teddy. I guess is IGN, which is Dead LX Donut on the NA server.
The issue with play-ins, right? With what is this? In-house.
In-house.
Is that eventually me and Aiden will be on the same team, right? Historically, this is the issue before Colton started playing a bunch of games with us. And we'll just play some dumb shit, right? We'll play AP Warwick, AD Malzahar. And we'll do very well because we are statistically a lot better than most players. And it just ruins the game for someone. which has like been a problem when we used to do in-houses a bunch.
So like, I think it's something that's possible.
Yes.
I think you have to have the right community for it, and you have to foster it and turn it into the right thing, and then really work hard to turn it into the right thing. To shout out Lala does a very good job. I'm not sure if they still do in-houses as often. I don't think they do them as often, but they were a community where they would like once or twice a week they'd play like 2 or 3 in-houses, right? And everyone would be super awesome. Very rare, like still you do have the occasional person who like complained and like bitches about his team or whatever like that. But like for the most part, everyone was a really good sport about it. If you were not a good sport about it, you'd kind of just like get kicked, and they were able to foster that. But I think that is very hard to do. I honestly do. People like winning. People don't like losing. People don't like being the best player on the team. People don't like being the worst player on their team, right?
And we foster toxicity in our community.
True.
No, I just think it's really hard to do, and I don't know, man. It can be a shit show if it's done not properly.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it pays off pretty well if it goes well, but it's very bad. Like, day ruining at the very least, possibly like beyond that if it goes poorly. And it's hard to get everyone to agree on like, oh, is this like, are we seriously playing this in house? Even though ranks are pretty widely distributed, or are we like, are we all joking about this? Oh, okay. There's one person taking it seriously and kind of ruining it for everyone. Like, it's difficult.
Yeah, and like, they were able to get it so like everyone would try hard, and like they'd balance it. So obviously, like
yeah,
higher rank would be on lower ranked teams, but like everyone was super cool. I just think that's super hard to do. I think you need a good group of guys for it.
But that being said, we are not entirely opposed to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's hope. Thank you, Teddy. Next email is from Sam. He says, "Sup, fellas? Settle this little scuffle for me. Is quesadilla a grilled cheese? Both are gooey cheese surrounded by flour-based carrying apparatus that has been grilled traditionally in butter. I will abide by your ruling, especially Colton the cheese llama. Quesadilla stream, question mark? Oh, and also everyone should subscribe to this cool Twitch streamer I found. You can put this link in the Discord, twitch.tv/bluebasket. Best regards, your homie who works with a guy named Shlomi, Lil Barnabas, and Poppy." Wow, you work with a guy named Lil Barnabas? That's pretty poggers.
Nice. Shlomi, Lil Barnabas, and Poppy is a very long name.
That's way better. What the hell? Okay, Colton, I feel very strongly about this. However,
I want to hear your opinion
absolutely.
first.
Grilled cheese, are you kidding me? You grill it, it's functionally the same thing except for the bread? Grilled cheese. That being said, you are the cheese master. And we have dubbed you as such. We've given you that responsibility over the years. So I too will abide by your ruling. Oh, gracious cheese czar.
So for me, I would not put quesadilla into the grilled cheese category because I'm of the school of thought that grilled cheese is a very specific thing where like melts are not grilled cheese, right? If you put anything other than cheese in there, like if you put a meat or like vegetables in there, that makes it a melt, not a grilled cheese anymore. And I think that switching from bread to tortilla as the outer layer is on that kind of line of mixing up that formula. So I would put like quesadilla in the same kind of like melt category where they share the same, like if we're going, like classifications in biology, right? Like they're in the same maybe family, but not maybe the same group.
Okay.
So
what if it's just
that's
even
where
if it's just
I
a cheese
stand on it.
quesadilla, no meat?
Yeah, I need to put some more thought into exactly why I'd say that, but my gut reaction would not put quesadilla into the grilled cheese specific area.
So be it. Colton has spoken. Not grilled cheese. Thank you, Sam.
All right. Thank you, Lil Barnabas. Next email's from Kevin. Probably not that Kevin. Hi, Leadcast. With the recent Nocturne ideas that have been mailed in, I thought I'd give you all a shout about a couple of ideas I had regarding Shaco. And with his upcoming mini rework regarding his boxes, I thought it'd be a great time to discuss everyone's most hated clown. I find myself thinking a lot about ideas for abilities and have not been implemented yet. And I have 2 ideas that sound balanced to me. The first would be an ability that would be a point and click that turns an enemy invisible to their own teammates. While this is active, they cannot be seen or targeted with an ally ability. Possibly at a part of this ability where if the target champion auto-attacks Shaco, it extends the length of the active by a quarter second, which would be an incentive to not auto the assassin who's trying to kill you. This might give Shaco more survivability in teamfights without breaking him. My second thought is to replace his passive with something similar to Nico's passive, but Shaco would instead take on the appearance of an enemy champion. While under this effect, the enemy cannot target Shaco with auto attacks, but ability damage would break the disguise. Imagine playing bot and you see your Sejuani come in for a gank, running at the enemy duo. You step up to follow the gank and only to have Sejuani disappear and Shaco reappear behind you. Alternatively, your jungler comes in and you fire an ability at your ally, just to make sure there's no funny business, wasting a cooldown that could be used in the gank. Hope to hear some fun discussion about these ideas, and I think it would reinforce Shaco's identity as a trickster, something that can feel lacking in his current kit. Love the show. Hope you have a great day. Kevin.
These are super interesting, but I feel like as soon as you add communication to the mix, it's like a little bit worse.
I think the second one doesn't really work at all, because like the idea of showing up as an enemy champion is just they know where their Sejuani is the whole time if they're paying attention to the game, and I think outside of like very low elo that's got actually zero value, like a plat plus player, honestly probably like a silver plus player, is never going to see a Sejuani coming in that they didn't have on the minimap a few seconds ago and be like, oh, that's my ally.
Or imagine if we're in a
like,
call together, Colton, and I say, hey, Colton, is this you ganking bot lane? No. Okay, cool. Like,
yeah, and that's I think the problem with the second one. Now the first one, the idea of the other team cannot see them or target them, I think that's very similar to like the Shadow Realm kind of thing, except for that I'm imagining what you're saying is that Shaco is visible to everything else while this is happening. So that's interesting. I don't really know how I feel about that. I think it's very close to the Shadow Realm, and I think the Shadow Realm does it better.
yeah, I think so too. It's yeah. Plus, that doesn't feel like sort of a Shaco ability, I guess.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think like there's a lot of ways that you could add to his identity as a trickster, and I think that's like what you're trying to do with this. You said that in the email, but I don't think mechanically these things work really well in League of Legends. I think one thing that could be really interesting is if I'm imagining the only way to really do this would be if they added a system kind of like Syndra, where when you get max rank in ability, it like upgrades, and like at max rank W, if he puts like a Jack in the Box in a bush and an enemy comes into vision of that bush, like for a moment, like for like half a second, you would see like a Shaco walking into the bush.
Ooh.
Even though it's
alternatively,
fake, right?
If you get feared by a box, every single champion is Shaco.
That could work.
Just go all out.
But I just think it'd be like really interesting if it was like that's okay. Like you see a Shaco running into the bush, and so like regardless if it's real or not, you know there's going to be a box there, but it might be entirely fake. And then, you could make it so the Q maybe lasts longer, does a bigger crit, and the E maybe has like a heavier slow, or add like an execute, or make the execute better. Like there's a lot of ways you could augment the other abilities, but I think that'd be really interesting as a way to like try and bait people into the traps.
For sure. Nice. Thank you, Kevin. That was Kevin, right? That was Kevin. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Lit.
Next email from Chris.
Yes. Next email is from Chris. Hey guys, I'll send you a quote lengthier email later because my lunch break is nearly over. But I just heard your response to the criticisms of an emailer, and I just wanted to say that you guys handled it pretty well. For just a group of 3 friends hanging out for absolutely no longer than 150 minutes a week, when he does the sad or the broken heart emoji. But I understand. You guys are very professional when needed. Keep it up. Also, in the subject, I'd love an apology for the hate you've given Yumi. Haha, Chris. Yeah,
No.
I mean, I feel
No,
like we
fuck
did
Yumi.
handle that like pretty professionally. We tend to put on the professional face when need be. So I think we would like to address Yumi and the hate that we've given her, just with a very nice apology. Just kidding. Fuck Yumi.
I'd like to apologize to every single player who's ever had to play with or against Yumi because fuck that shit.
I would like to apologize to you, Chris, for not hating Yumi more and earlier. Also,
Chris, I would like to apologize to your parents for having a son that thinks that Yumi's a good character.
I've been muted for so long. I was wondering why no one was talking
ooh,
about
yikes.
clips.
Aiden,
No one was responding to your hilarious
wait, have you
roast.
been muted in, like, with your mic or in Discord?
Like a total, fully.
Oh, total. Okay, cool. So, we've given our apologies to Chris. Would you like to jump in?
Well, what I said was, it's funny that Yugi. It's
The
funny.
Yugi.
It's funny that Yumi's such a
No.
fucking dog character.
Nice, got him. Fuck you, Chris. Fuck Yumi. I'm just kidding, Chris. Not
I love
fuck
you, Chris.
Yeah.
But fuck Yumi.
But fuck
Yeah,
you.
we love
For
you,
real,
Chris, but we don't love Yumi.
Oh, I fucking hate Yumi.
Next email is from Michael.
Ah, Michael says fuck
Hey,
Yumi.
dudes.
Weird. Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, it's just, hey dudes, fuck Yumi, period, Michael. Just, hey dudes, firstly I got to gold, haven't played as much as I want to, but we did it, thanks dudes. Second and
Fuckers.
finally, Polar Bear, move aside. VoteGath and Electjin are clear contenders. Love the new format ideas, and I'm glad you guys are doing it for you. Keep on keeping on, Michael. I don't know about VoteGath, but Electjin...
I feel the other way.
that's a
Vogath
good
is
punch.
very strong.
like
Electjin?
Vogath a
Are you
lot.
kidding me? You're joking.
I like both of them. Like, it's funny. VoteGath is...
Vogath
fucking
is
trash.
just bad, so it's good.
Oh, I like trash ones, dude.
That being
Hence
said,
stories.
Cassiopolia, still S tier.
Yeah.
And climbing every week. The more I say it, the more I appreciate it.
Disagree.
I've started telling like loved ones. They're a fan.
Good. Congrats on gold, my dude. No, don't get demoted. That'd be the ultimate, like, tragedy. And thanks, Mike. P.S. Oh, you forgot his postscript, Colton. I'll go ahead and read it.
Ooh,
P.S.
my-
Fuck Yumi.
I don't even...
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, I see that right there.
Timely.
It's in all bold, so I missed
Oh,
it.
it's in white. It's in white text color. Gotcha.
Because the evidence is very black and white that says that Yumi's such a bad
Yeah,
character.
true. Next email. The last email is from Jonathan. Jonathan, I had to kind of cut your email down a little bit. It was quite long. Apologies. He said, "A good day, boys. I've been listening to your podcast for about 6 months now. I have been very entertained so far and expect to be a long supporter of your show. I don't really have much to say except for the following." He has a lot to say. Spoiler. I am a jungle main. That was toxic. I'm sorry, Jonathan.
Well, that was just not needed.
He started with fuck Yumi, and then...
Oh, fuck you, me. P.S. Love Jonathan. Period. No, he says, I am a jungle main. I loved playing in the jungle since season 3, but lately I have not been having good games. For some reason, I felt that I don't have any impact this season. With lanes pushing, I seem to still not have scuttle pressure due to my laners not following me to the scuttle to secure it. Oh god, we had this discussion a long time ago. I ping but no response. I usually play champs like Kha'Zix, Udyr, and Malphite, but champs that I usually counter with these picks seem to be more powerful than usual. It may have been maybe my jungle pathing or clear kiting, but I need some more jungle tips. He links his op.gg, which we're not going to click on this time. This is a new thing. It may seem that I don't play that much, and you are right. I have been tilted for a while due to going into Gold 2 promo 6 times and still lose 2 games due to troll or just having a bad day. His name is You Have 45 Chromo, which is pretty okay. He said, yes, that's my league name. I love having troll names. You can also see my other accounts like Hooked LP, Braindead Mundo, Braindead Game, or To Be Banned, which ironically got banned. I don't think that's ironic. Like that Alana Morissette song. And then he said Champ Talk. He thinks Aurelia should be semi-reverted. The passive heal should be moved to the W. The E should be like a Malzahar Q style, and the ult should disarm but not slow. He wants to talk about Worlds, where he thinks both NA and EU both have good chances to make it to finals. He says both top 1 and 2 seeds from each region look pretty good and have decently easy groups. And then last thing he wants to say is that he just wishes that Riot would leave Sylas alone. He's so far my favorite champ in terms of gameplay and style, especially in his lore. I love how he can look at the teams during draft and just pick out which ultimates to use. And this also changes the enemy team in perspective on how they should play as well. With Sylas in the game, it just makes everyone play differently, and that is what I loved about him. If Riot is able to hear Akali mains and put some more power into her after some nerfs, they should do the same to Sylas, because this is just bullshit that other champs get to just be buffed a little to be seen in pro play, but Sylas is like, the fuck do I do now? Sorry for the rant, but I hate seeing already powerful champs. Wow, what the fuck? Already powerful champs getting buffs while Sylas keeps getting nerfed. Jonathan. So do we have any jungle tips, Colton?
Yeah, go start with that, yeah.
Alright, so first thing you need to know as a jungler, fuck you, me.
Nice.
Second thing, I guess, so for current season jungling, there are some differences, I guess I would say, to past years. Right, so you talked about scuttle control, and in general, most of the time you're just going to be kind of handshaking scuttles with the opposing jungler, in that the first two spawn at the same time, you take one, they take one. You should be able to have an idea of where they started and where they're going based on when lanes show up, if they've used mana or any health. If not, you can always kind of put an early ward onto blue buff or raptor camp to get an idea of where they're starting and plan around that. In terms of the jungle itself right now, I mean, Krugs and Raptors are the most valuable camp. Spot side is by far more, beneficial to be clearing regularly. I've said a lot of these things before, so I'm trying to just distill it here for you. When you gank lanes, stick around for minion XP, because the jungle, I think, doesn't have quite as much XP as it has in times past. And power farming your jungle is not going to give you a level advantage as much as clearing your bot side and then staying in a lane for a little while. If you are going to do that, which I would recommend you do, just make sure that you're not taking all of the minions from your lanes, because then you're going to tilt them. Or at least if you get the kill, let them get the CS. If they get the kill, you can maybe take some of the CS. Sticking around for plates is going to be a lot of early gold for you and let you snowball. I also think dragons are very, very strong at this point. So, playing around the dragon, particularly if you are lucky enough to be on the side where your red buff is the one right behind the dragon pit, you can always be there and have vision on it and not give it up for free. So try and avoid that. That's kind of, I guess, what I have to say. Nick, Aiden, do you have anything to add?
I think that was pretty in
I think
depth.
you covered it pretty well, yeah.
Without actually taking a look at this guy's profile and coaching him and stuff like that. It's pretty pretty comprehensive.
Yeah,
the other thing I'd say, you do mention it might be your pathing or your kiting. Pathing, there's tons of videos on that. Kiting camps, on some characters it's really important, on some it's not, but in general you should be moving while taking camps, because at the end of the day you can clear the jungle if you're doing it or not. It's just a difference of 100 to 200 HP when you actually go for a gank, or when someone shows up invading you, where if you were taking that extra effort to micro your camps, you might now win that 1v1 or be able to survive that gank.
Yep. As for Sylas, yeah. I mean, I think he's definitely an interesting character to see in pro play. I just think when he's strong, he's too strong, and there's really nothing to do about that. At least with his current
Plus, he
kit.
can still Yuumi ult and fuck Yuumi.
Yeah, true. True. There's your episode title, Aiden. Just fuck you, me.
Fuck you, me.
Take that one, iTunes.
Do you think that person who sent that email would even you just remember his email and see the title? No.
We lost a viewer.
Unsubscribes.
Oh, listener, yeah, for sure. We should just do that every week. Is just target one listener to get them to stop listening.
True.
Poggers. That'll do it for episode 399. Next week is the 400th episode.
Extravaganza.
Leaguecast. That's a fucking long time, my boys. That's almost 8 years. So,
yeah.
Make sure you're chilling next week. Tell all your friends about next week. Give us $1 next week. It's 400. That's old. That's older than
Hell
the
yeah.
United
Be
States of
around
America.
live.
So, check us out on Twitter at Leaguecast and at LeaguecastFrost. On Facebook, we are Leaguecast. You can chill with us in TeamSpeak, ts.leaguecastpodcast.com, or on Discord, which is on our website, leaguecastpodcast.com. Alternatively, you can send us an email, mail@leaguecastpodcast.com, and you can ask for a Discord link, and I'll get you that real quick. You can also send us any email, respond to a roundtable there, pretty much do anything. Make sure next week you're sending us super fun emails. I think we would prefer non-league ones, just because I think we don't get to talk about that a ton on the show. So email us with like probably things that are quick. Like, hey, what's your
If you
favorite?
want to ask me why Morgana's or Misfortune's like the hottest League character, though, that's like League related.
True, we can have that debate if you want.
It's because she's a pirate, by the way.
Pirate Hunter.
Aiden's a fan of booty.
But yeah, send us fun stuff this week. I guess when you're listening to it. Twitch.tv/BlueBasket and /KingLardot are where we stream and where we plan to stream episode 400 live. Patreon.com/Leaguecast is where you can support us. That will do it for this episode. You guys have anything to go out on? Give us a good one-liner.
We're turning 400 next week. Bye.
Bye.
But we still look like a kid. Bye.